people. Thanks for tuning into my channel. How have you been? I'm sure you've been good. Alright guys, today I'll be starting a skirt series. In this series, I'll be teaching you in different videos all you need to know about making a skirt, from pattern making to sewing the different components of a skirt, darts, zippers, pockets, hems, different types of skirts, and so many more. If you are new to my channel, welcome, and if you haven't subscribed, please do consider subscribing. I've got a lot of goodies coming soon. Okay, so today's class will start with blind hem stitch. Okay, so a blind hem is simply a hem where the stitches are not visible on the outside of the garment. Knowing how to do a blind hem can come in handy, really. Of course, these days it can be done using a machine. Not any machine anyway. Your straight stitch machine can do that, but zigzag machines, and you probably need a foot accessory to a blind hem foot. All right, so but of course you can also do it with your hands, so I'll be teaching you that. So let's get right to it. You need a needle depending on the thickness of your fabric. Your choice of needle should actually be an embroidery needle. That way you are sure it won't poke holes into your fabric, right? Because if you use a very big needle, you will end up with big holes in your garment. All right, okay, so you pass a thread and you make it just one. Okay, so that means when you pass your thread, you tie it at the end, just one, and then you leave the other one just like that, so it makes it lighter when it's passing through it. Okay, I'm using a color thread so that you can see it how I go. I'm using a color thread so you can see the process clearly. Okay, so here I just have I'm trying to imitate an hem. So already I have a ½ inch that I folded first, then 1 inch. Okay, sometimes this part can just be overlocked, and then you just have it directly like that. Okay, so let's get started. So the first thing is to hide your knot. So you have to go in through here. Hide that knot, baby. Alright, so you have it here, right? So your knot is invisible in the fabric, right? So the next step which is critical to a blind hem is for you to pick up if just like a thread, just one, because you can actually see the grains. So just pick up one. Can you see? Pick up just one. I'll do that again so you can see it. Just pick up one thread, then you go in from under back into the thread, and then you go over the needle with your thread and out. So that's it. So that way you have this being attached to this. Okay, so from that same point, so now you are just going to use your eye to judge, maybe 1 centimeter apart or ½ inch apart, but just make sure the distance between the stitches are equal. Yeah, you have that. Then you pick, and then you go into again and go over, and then you're out. Okay, basically the stitch using a machine to just does this. Okay, so moving on, you go back to the former point, go back, you pick. Now I'm picking in between. You can see I'm inside the M. Okay, I'm inside the M. Can you see? I'm inside. My needle is not showing on the underneath, so I'm inside. Go back, you pick, stay inside. Yeah, then judge to be sure you have the same distance. Remember, you'll be using a matching thread, so I'm using a colored thread so you can see the process. Okay, so let's continue. You can see it on the right side that the stitches are invisible, so you go on like that. So you pick inside, so you're inside, no needle showing, yeah, inside. Out, pick up and enter. And then you continue that way. We're trying to space the distance equally. We will give you a professional look. And also when picking, just be patient and make sure you pick just a thread at a time. If you pick too much, your stitch will end up being visible on the right side. Okay, so yeah, it takes some practicing, but once you get a hang of it, I'm sure you can even do it blindfolded. Okay, so blind hem is not just for hem alone. Blind hem can also be used for other parts of the garments. You can see what I've done, and you can see it on the right side. You can see it, and then it's attached firmly. So blind hem can also be used for other parts of the fabric. It gives some professional finish look to your garment. Let me see. An example is this. Can you see? Okay, so this dress is not lined, and I used a bias finish for the neckline, and I used a blind hem. I don't know if you can see that. And I used a blind hem for that, and you can see. So that's how to use it. So you can use it. You can also use it for armholes. If you are doing a sleeveless dress, you can also use it for armholes. You can use it for armholes. You can use it for necklines. Yeah, pretty much. So that's it. So when making a skirt and you want a professional finish, after overlocking, is just neater for you to do a blind stitch instead of running a visible stitch on your hem line. It just gives that ready to wear piece, and everybody will ask you, where did you get your skirt from? And they wouldn't believe when you say, oh, I made it myself. All right. Okay, so I'll just continue this and I'll show you what the finished look is like. Alright guys, that's the end of our blind hem. Okay, so you can, as you can see, I did not measure. Okay, so, and I don't think it's realistic for you to mark distances between them. Okay, except if you're doing a 10 by 10 like this. But imagine having to hem a skirt of hemline about 40 inches in length. You know, you really can't sit and start marking half inch or 1 centimeter apart. So you just really have to get used to judging with your eyes. I mean, if you take a tape rule and measure, of course, they are not going to be exactly the same length, but they're not that, it's not that obvious that they are different. Not bad. Okay, so I think this is still okay. So on the right side, this is what we have. Can you see that? On the right side, that's what you have. So you just probably see a tiny something that looks like depression that shows you where your M is. Okay, so you have to be, so that is how it looks like on the right side, and on the wrong side is how it looks like. So back in the days when you start learning tailoring, you know, this is the first task you are assigned to. So you do all the hemming of the boba and all the hemming of the trouser pants and all that. This is what you do until you learn patience. Alright, thanks guys for watching. Hope to see you again in my next video. I'll be teaching you how to sew a V-dart. Please do like and share, and don't forget to subscribe. See you in my next video.